You wanted the best. You've got the best podcast. The hottest podcast in the world. The Chris Voss Show, the preeminent podcast with guests so smart you may experience serious brain bleed. The CEOs, authors, thought leaders, visionaries, and motivators. Get ready. Strap yourself in. Keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the vehicle at all times, because you're about to go on a monster education roller coaster with your brain. Now, here's your host, Chris Voss.
Hi, folks. Chris Voss here from the ChrisVossShow.com, the ChrisVossShow.com. Welcome to the big show, our family and friends. Welcome to Chris Voss Show family, the place where you sit down every day on the couch and we just get around and we eat some nachos and chips and I don't know, we drink a beer. You don't have to drink a beer. I don't drink anymore. And then we, I don't know, watch the podcast or something. Is that what people do when they're watching the podcast? People don't listen to watch the podcast, Chris. They listen to it. Anyway, guys, be sure, as always, refer the show to your family, friends, and relatives because we need more listeners. We're pumping out 2 to 3 shows a weekday. 10 to 15 a week, and we're trying to get to 1,000 shows this year. Do you know we did 650 shows last year in like 260 work days because we don't do weekends? That's how crazy we are. And there's so much good stuff for you to do and so many brilliant minds. And once again, no surprise to anyone's because you've been listening for 15 years. We have the smartest guests on the show. We have another gentleman on the show who's joining us today. We're going to be talking about wellness and health and healing, which is like what I need, mostly a frontal lobotomy. But let's be honest, I need all the help I can get. Simon Lüthi is joining us on the show today. He's going to be talking to us about his company, his startup, and entrepreneurism and wellness, and kind of his life journey that led him down this road. He is a transformational and customer-centric executive who ensures the well-being of employees and boosts organizational effectiveness by devising robust strategies, facilitating innovation, and launching system-wide changes. As an expert in health, wellness, and travel who provides inspiring thought leadership, he cultivates a culture of mindfulness that yields team satisfaction, loyalty, retention, and enables employee development. Everyone wants that these days. He's the CEO and founder of Healthee.world, and it's kind of spelled interesting. We'll get into that, as a unique wellness as a service software platform. He helps companies save money on healthcare costs and encouraging their employees to stay or get healthy because that saves everybody. You know, life is good. He serves as the founder and chief wellness officer at Sacred Healing LLC, where he's leveraged a personal health crisis to enhance the well-being of 300 plus clients, focusing on healing trauma, physical pain, and mental and emotional limitations. And he's the creator of Applied Neuro-Cellular Therapy, which combines modern technology, ancient wisdom, and a unique, powerful healing modality. Welcome to the show. How are you, sir?
I'm good, Chris. How are you?
I am excellent.
Didn't that just give you the brain bleed? I was just thinking of like the intro, like just the bio itself. Maybe.
It's Monday for me. It's a good bio. It's Monday for me, so I'm still kind of brain bleeding. It's kind of funny. We do all those shows all week long, and then I just go try and forget about everything for the weekend. And I come back on Monday. I'm like, how do you work the show again? Which buttons do I push? I think there's some sort of, you know how women have that thing where they have a baby and they forget all the pain that went into it, and they're just like, I'm going to have another. And you're like, do you remember last time? Yeah, or the time before, the 3 times before that. And I guess that's how I am, but I love the show and it isn't a pain. So give us, let's run through the .coms or .health as it were, so that people have all your plugs. Look at all the plugs in.
Yeah. Thanks Chris, for having me. This all started about 7 years ago when I had my own health crisis. I was, couldn't even get out of bed. My hands were swollen shut. I was, wow. What you do, you go to the best clinics, that you have around that nobody could figure out what the hell was going on with me, until I was, ended up being misdiagnosed. And that really started my own journey of like figuring out, hey, like healthcare in America is broken. We got to do something about it. We got to help people. It can't be that people are running from doctor to doctor to doctor, can't figure it out, and you throw a bunch of pills at it. So that's really what kind of this started for me. Starting with Sacred Healing, like you mentioned, my own private energy practice, and then now really in the early stages of my startup, Healthee.world, and I'm excited to share, what I've learned and hopefully help some listeners along the way.
And I think you had a battle with cancer too after that, right?
2020 is one of those years that you probably should just blow up. Like, first you have the pandemic, and then June. That's right. Yeah, I had a bout with cancer. I'm happy to say I'm completely healthy.
Awesome.
As a result of it. But, it seems like when the man above like throws some stuff at you, you just, take it as it goes and make the best out of it.
It's a bit of a sadist from what I understand. That's why I'm an atheist. He's got to get some interesting attitudes about throwing things at people, but he's God, so he's omnipotent, and clearly I can't even pronounce it, so he probably can.
Isn't that from like Joe Almighty with, smite me, you almighty smiter. So, that's kind of how I felt about 2020.
Yeah, we all kind of got smitten in 2020 with something. I heard about it. Yeah. So it's still wandering around. So let's get into it. So you decide that you get diagnosed with this, and they throw you a bunch of stuff. Where do you kind of get to this healing part? Where do you discover that, hey, man, maybe taking pills with 50,000 side effects that you got to take more pills for to counter those side effects, and they have side effects you got to take? How did you get down this road?
It's been interesting for me. I think I've always been connected with the right people at the right journey in my life. As I said, I found myself not getting out of bed, but I have to tell or give the doctor things. He said one quick thing. He said, all right, well, I'm going to put you on this malaria medication, and I need you to go see an ophthalmologist because there's a small chance that you could go blind. And I go, my eyes are the only fucking thing that are working right now. Like, why would I mess with it? But thank you, doc. That was really great.
Blind.
That really started me on the journey of like, there's got to be something else out there. I wanted to get to the bottom of it. I was lucky enough to. I'm Swiss by birth, so I knew of a clinic in Switzerland that I could go to, and they deal with a lot of end of the road where the American system fails. And I was finally properly diagnosed. So it ended up actually being a heavy metal toxicity. Food poisoning or a food allergy that I've had, and all of that really could be cured by applying the right chelation therapy. So that's where a lot of my physical health at least started to come back.
I had a friend who went to Switzerland for some therapy that was kind of unique and holistic. I wonder if it's the same company. It was kind of weird. I'll have to look into it. He was really vague about the whole thing because on Facebook everyone's like, "What are you doing?" That whole sort of thing. But obviously it worked for you, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's amazing when you can't get out of bed and then you actually do the right treatments and you can dance again. Like, as I said, I don't take any medication. I take a couple supplements, more like good vitamins and minerals, but I don't take any pharmaceuticals anymore.
There you go. Neither do I. Wink, wink. Nothing from Las Vegas. Let's see. Might be a little herb there every now and then, but not in any quantity. So tell us a bit. So what's the first company you start? Because you're in a few different things. Walk us through the timeline.
Yeah, so I've been in corporate for 30 years. So I worked for, can I even
That'll make us.
Let's just say it's a large credit card company that I work for.
Yeah.
That also has a blue background for those that wonder. And I've been in travel and in financial services for a lot of time. Then I had my first startup back in 2012 that dealt with business travel and expense management. And really open up my eyes. Like they always say, startup is not for the faint of heart. Like there's always pivoting and doing a little bit of left turn and right turn. But I'm now in my early 50s and I felt like I have still some gas left in the tank.
I hope
based
so.
on my own health story.
I'm there too with you.
Are you? Congratulations.
I'm 55. I hope there's gas in the tank. I'm checking it. It's running on empty.
Hey, if you're getting to 1,000 shows, you still are doing a good job.
It's running on empty, as Jackson Brown used to say, but I'm trying.
Yep. And so I just started Healthee.world. As I said, it's a wellness and software company that is going to provide adjacent health benefits to employers and their employees because, post-COVID, post-pandemic, employees are looking for companies and employers that care. And at the same token, we can't continue going down, the road of just popping pills left and right. It's really about, taking care of our physical bodies, taking care of our mental bodies as well. And that's really what this is going to be focused on.
There you go. And, having employees around is a pretty cool idea. You want your employees to be healthy because if they're sick and in the hospital all the time, well, you can't drive them like mules and Work harder, damn it. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that, people. That's a joke. Don't worry.
Yeah, and authenticity is just big, right? I mean, there's too many people out there that are just, driving to the boss ego game. But one of the things I've learned was, showing up authentically myself, and I become a little bit of the green smoothie evangelist. But really, this is one of those things that I believe in the morning. Not putting a whole lot of carbs in, but eating healthier.
Get that green smoothie. What do you got in that green smoothie, by the way?
It's pretty simple. It has coconut water, it has kale, it has a pear, it has some avocado, lemon juice, really ginger.
There you go, ginger. That's good too.
Get a little bit of spice in the morning as well. I like that.
There you go. Yeah, I was learning that most people, I think it's like 96% of people are potassium deficiency, either one, pick your choose. And I was reading about it, and I was trying to come up with ways to try and you need like 500 grams or milligrams of potassium a day, or 5,000 actually, which is quite a lot, And I was reading about it, and of course I'm working out, going to the gym, and so I was looking at beet tops and all these different bananas you can eat, but there's a high glycemic hit that you take in sugar, and so I was looking at a lot of different things, and I found coconut water, and I buy these cans at the store that have about 1,000 milligrams or milligrams, whatever. They have 1,000 of the 5,000 I need in one can for to get my potassium up. And so if I just drink 4 or 5 of those a day, I've got my stuff. That's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, a good friend of mine almost thought he had a heart attack on a business trip, and then came out to be potassium deficient. So that was how they found out. Now, granted, you're doing the right thing, but and you probably hate me saying this, but a lot of the stuff has to do with healthy liver and healthy lymphatic system, because that also influences a healthy heart. So there's some other things.
Yeah. That I drank for 20 years hard, so my liver left a long time ago. It's like, we're out. Bye. See you. So,
well, the good news is with the liver, it regenerates itself.
That's true.
Every
that's true.
It's it's not too late.
We're in union talks right now, so we're going to see if we can work that out and see if we can all get along. But that's beside the point. So let's get into what do you do for clients? How do you help them with your company? I am understanding it's a SaaS service too as well.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So we're really an adjacent benefits company, meaning, for the time being, we're working more on alternative, treatments, acupuncture, nutrition, all the things that you don't get. And it's really about keeping people healthy or getting them healthy if they're in the middle of a health crisis. We've got a rewards built in as well, because a lot of people fall off the wagon, right? I mean, you've been there, I've been there. You have New Year's resolutions, and then I don't know, like it gets too tired.
I always thought you were supposed to fall off the wagon. I thought that was half the fun.
And one of the things we did find is that if you give people tools to be rewarded, that is really keeping you engaged. Whether that's free meals, free massages, all that good stuff.
I'm into all that. There you go. Anything free, pretty much. That's how I roll. So do you sell this to companies per se or individuals?
No, we're selling it or getting ready to sell it to companies, right? This is really something that we want to give to them so that they can in turn turn it or give it to their employees as well. And really what we believe, we have a hypothesis that as you lean into the overall health and wellness, you should be able to drive down your health cost liability as well. Like next to salary, benefits is the largest expense that a company has. And, that's really, I think, the next frontier.
Definitely. I mean, the cost for health and the cost for downtime when someone's really sick. Like I've had top producers, they'll be out for a while. They'll come down with something or, something will happen. And if they're down for a long time, it can really affect your bottom line. In fact, if they're one of the top producers, you're like really screwed. So, it makes all the difference in the world. And then the costs, companies don't, a lot of people don't understand when you're a company, you buy a policy, it's blanket policy, not really blanket, but you know what I mean? The health of all your workers factors into it. So you have one person or a few people who are very sick and using up all the health things. I mean, that's just a fact of life. You're always going to have those people on the curve, but it increases the policy costs for the company and everyone else actually in the pool. So there you go. So give us a do we cover the other company that you have? I think.
Yeah, so Sacred Healing is my private practice, as I mentioned. That's really where the applied neurocellular therapy is coming out of. So this is something that I've gotten into while I was sick the first time around. And we're getting a little bit into the woo-woo aspect of all of this, right? So can you actually heal people by putting hands on? And but it's really ancient wisdom that's been around for thousands of years, right? Even if you think about a mom that if the child falls, it's what do you do the first thing? You put the hand on, rub the knee or, rub the hand and all that. So that's really a little bit of what this is all about. In fact, there's studies that if you have an energy healer at a surgeon's, if somebody goes through surgery and you have an energy healer there, that you have a 30 to 40% faster recovery rate than if somebody that's not there. So there's something there. Science can't really prove it. But it's a fascinating, topic that I got interested in 16 and still, to this day, seeing clients every day.
Well, we've had not metaphysical. We've had people on that study the body and, what it does. I'm trying to think of the scientific term, but there's something about human touch, humans being near each other. We do give off an energy. There's dopamine and different things that happen in the brain. Serotonin, dopamine hits when we see each other's faces. I mean, when we're sitting here looking at each other right now, there's serotonin and dopamine. I don't know which one it is, but there's different things that we're doing and then our brain is interacting with that is running chemicals that's keeping everything going, keeping my stupid mouth running. And so there's something to that. I really believe, you can sense people are nearby you, especially they're close by or, hugging, holding, touching. There's all sorts of things that sets off in the brain. That's one of the problems we have with these 2D cell phones and stuff like that. But so you develop this, you help clients. How do clients reach out to you and find out more about that and work with you?
Yeah, that's right. So, just to, add to that, I've had people with chronic nerve pain that were going from doctor to doctor to doctor, also from one treatment they're well. I get a lot of folks that are coming through the website. I work with other naturopathic docs. I work with osteopaths. I work with chiropractors, and even chiropractors, like everybody is going to a chiropractor to get adjusted. But even those guys will say, I can't do more. You need to do something else. And so that's sort of like where I come in. And we're really healing deeply, karmic related stuff, ancestral things, stuff that you've gone through yourself, through our upbringing, our families and all that. So it's pretty interesting when you start to heal on not just the physical side, but the emotional, the intellectual and the spiritual side of things. That stuff just can,
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff that people attach emotionally in trauma. And I think we had someone on the show talking about this, where if, when you have a traumatic experience or some sort of event or something that puts you in fight or flight mode, it can leave an emotional imprint and that affects you. Like, a good example is if, I don't know, you get on a train and it crashes, you ride in a car and it crashes, your brain apprehensively, just to protect you, will be like, hey, I don't know about that whole car thing. Every time you get into a car, it's going to be there. And so, there's some people that need cleaning and different things to recognize that emotion is there.
The body keeps the score, no doubt. And
there you go.
That's really where the applied neurocellular therapy is coming in. What was interesting to me, I have clients, or I would say I have three types of clients. I have the once and done. They come one time, they're healthy, they're off and running. I have others that have to come a couple times, and I have others that it doesn't work at all. And I was really fascinated by that latter one, right? So I'm doing the same thing. What is it? Is it something, in their attitude, that they feel like, well, I don't know, we'll try it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't hurt, that kind of stuff. But what I found what was really fascinating is that there is some kind of neurological pathway to the cell structure. And if that can be interrupted just long enough, so that you can go in on the body, that you can actually go much, much, much deeper. So, we're talking pain removal, we're talking about PTSD, we're talking about, deeply traumatic experience, like you mentioned, that can just be eradicated.
There you go. I was just listening to Sam Harris's podcast recently, and he had an older guest on from a ways back, and I was listening to it, and they were talking about, meditation and transcendentalism and duality and things of that nature. And one of the things they were talking about was that why people can be given a pill that's a placebo and it will work for them.
Yep.
And people that are given a normal pill, and do the same. And they talk about why the brain can operate that way and why there's a lot of self-healing that can take place because of the power of, I don't want to woo-woo it and call it positive whatever, but the brain thinks it and makes it happen. I mean, we're kind of an amazing body when it comes down to it. At least not mine. That's what they tell me on Tinder.
No, I mean, absolutely right. The body can heal itself if you give it a chance. So, in some cases it's nutrition, but like you said, the positive mindset and, positive affirmations absolutely can have, a big impact.
Definitely.
And, in fact, there's, if we want to get a little bit into the, the spiritual side of things, there's the law of attraction. So there's, people probably talk about it. So there's the Joe Dispenzas out there, or the Bruce Liftons of the world, that talk a little bit about the biology of belief. But what I mean by that is, and it drove my ex-wife crazy, I could manifest a free parking spot in front of the restaurant every single time. Like I said, I will find that free parking or the open parking spot in front. I don't want to walk. And it happens every time. Why is that? Right? Is that because we're giving it positive energy into the universe? Same with the healing abilities, right? I think if we're staying positive and open to it, lots can happen.
Definitely. I mean, there is a lot of background on that. Like I said, there's the thing with where people, just having a positive mental attitude. We had a leadership coach from West Point who runs the big leadership training program there for many years. He came on the show and he wrote a book about how, sometimes just having confidence and fake it a little, make it, but you do have to do the work. Can make all the difference, because convincing your brain of, Olympiads and NFL players, they all use this technology, thinking helps you kind of achieve what you want to take and do. You have something you called Flosson. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Flosson. Yeah.
What is that?
So based on the whole positive mindset, I created this campaign called Flossom, and it's basically a word game out of flaws and awesome.
Oh, okay.
Right? And it basically talks a little bit about, hey, from the moment we open our eyes as a baby, we kind of see the world, through this outside lens. We never really qualify whether what I'm seeing is right or wrong. But, so if somebody wears these shoes, or, like, why do we think, oh, I'm too fat, or, oh, gray hair, hair is going out and all that stuff. So what I'm really trying to do with this campaign is to accept our flaws and embrace them, and really, achieve greatness through all of that stuff. So I think focus less on what you're not good at, and focus more on the stuff that you're really, really, really strong.
That's good advice, because the stuff that you're strong at is usually the stuff you're going to like doing a whole lot better than if you try to do something. Like if I ever was like, hey, I want to become an Olympic swimmer, that does not sound fun to me at all. But, I might get this attitude like, we're going to make this work and I'm becoming an Olympic swimmer. And of course, at 55, it's probably a little not on my radar.
Never know. You might just
that's
have
true.
To, jump in and do
having
it.
a negative attitude here. I've been corrected. So there you go.
You just don't want to get up at 6 a.m. to jump.
That is, you are correct, sir. You are correct, sir. And all that other stuff, that whole swimming thing, like, I'm like, can I call somebody that can do that for me? That'd be just fine. So there you go. But let's see. What else have we discussed about your business and how you guys do things?
So one of the things that I just wanted to touch base on is the applied neurocellular therapy, right? So talks a bit about using modern technology and ancient wisdom. So I don't know whether a lot of people know about that. There's a company in Germany, they have a tool out called Global Diagnostics. And they actually worked with NASA to treat people or astronauts on the space station. So if you think about it, you can take the whole freaking pharmacy up there. Well, I guess you could, but like on small spaces, you can't really do that. So what they found is that it's actually possible to send medication and or supplements through time and space up there to treat them.
Oh, wow.
And so that's a little out there in terms of, but if we're all vibrational beings and we're all connected, like, it should be possible to do that. So that's one thing that I've started a couple of years ago with Global Diagnostics and a little tool called Healthee. Maybe some of your listeners know it. And you can do a bunch of stuff in kind of the remote things, whether that's sending remote homeopathics, and it's pretty crazy to like do a diagnosis on it and be pretty freaking accurate in terms of what shows up, whether that's skin issues or whether that's hormonal imbalances and all that. And then I just kind of could never really pinpoint it all the way down. So the latest thing that I'm using in my practice is a hypnagogic lamp. Think of it as a LED color and stroboscope that basically activates your alpha, beta, theta, delta waves and your pineal gland. And I'm coming back again to it's basically an LSD trip without drugs. Had we had this in the 60s, Nixon probably didn't have to kill all the drugs. We could have just done that artificially.
Well, he was trying to get people not to vote too. That was part of it. He was targeting a group of people. They didn't want to vote.
But that whole stuff is coming back now. So all the psilocybins and the micro and macro dosing now of all that stuff. So what I'm doing is it's a completely drug-free induction of healing energies, and it goes back into severing the neurological pathways from the cellular structure so that the body can heal much, much, much faster.
There you go. That's all the anything that can make everybody heal faster. That's definitely ideal. Definitely. So anything more we haven't touched on before we go out, or any of your final thoughts?
I would just, basically say my story is really kind of the phoenix rising from the ashes. So, if I can heal from what I had twice now, in a couple of these, healing practice, anyone can really heal, I would say, encourage. And this isn't just about diet and exercise, because everybody will tell you, eat healthier and go exercise. For me, it's really about a positive mindset. So, my encouragement to everyone is, get up in the morning, practice thankfulness, not just mindfulness, but thankfulness, being alive. And that can do wonders for you as well.
Definitely. I think there's some science behind that too, about gratefulness and the energy and the feeling you get from it, what it tells your body that, hey, I'm doing a good job. It's like a pat on the back instead of just kicking yourself all the time going, I suck.
That's right. Exactly. And thanks for letting me be on your show. I would also say anyone that is interested in hearing more about what we're up to at Healthee, or become an investor, become involved, please reach out to me. Would love to have a conversation.
There you go. It's been wonderful having you on the show. Give us all the .coms or .health, all that stuff.
Yeah. So Healthee.world, sacredhealing.us, or simonelüthi.com.
Simone, thank you very much for coming on the show. We really appreciate it, man.
Thanks, Chris. It was fun.
There you go. And thanks to for tuning in. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, LinkedIn.com/Chris Voss, YouTube.com/Chris Voss, and Chris Voss 1 on TikTok. Thanks for being here. Stay tuned for future wonderful episodes and guests, and we'll see you guys next time.